Welcome back everybody to another Harry Potter review leading up to the Fantastic Beasts and where to find them. I wonder where you can find them. Today I'll be discussing Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire with my good friend 22TigerDude. See him on the channel before. Remember to go over to his channel after this video and give him a like and tell him Justin sent ya. So before I get to my part of the review, 22TigerDude, what did you think about Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire? Thank you.
Well, hello everybody on Justin Watches Movies channel. I want to thank Justin so much for bringing me here to review Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire with him. So, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is personally one of my absolute favorite installments in the Harry Potter franchise. It's always been one of my favorites personally. This movie has a lot of awe and wonders, and then once you start to get to the climax of the film, that's when more of the darker stuff does start to really come in. I just loved how light this film was for most of it, and then that's when you do get to more of the darker stuff in the last act. The story of Harry being chosen as an underage competitor to compete in this tournament with these other players from different schools is actually a very great concept, and that's where I think it does set up this nice interesting mystery behind this film as to why Harry was even chosen to be in this certain tournament. Everyone, as far as performances go, do such a great job. Daniel Radcliffe, he's still fantastic as Harry Potter. He still embodies this character very well. And then of course Emma Watson, she's absolutely great as Hermione. She's just wonderful. And the same thing does go for Rupert Grint as Ron. And the three of them, Harry Potter, Hermione, and Ron, they all have that friendship that we all know and love. They just interact with each other very well. And something that I did really love about Goblet of Fire is how even though you have scenes where the kids are talking about the ball, these scenes where the guys are afraid to talk to the girls, which for us guys that can be quite relatable. Even though you have those kind of scenes and there's nothing you could say action-packed happening, those scenes actually worked for the story because it does show that they're still going through their teenage stages. And of course the scenes with the magic was also very cool. And then this one sequence when Harry is just swimming underwater, that was honestly a very awesome scene. That was so cool. That's always been one of my favorite scenes. And even on a visual spectacle, the visual effects are absolutely astonishing. The visual effects are always really great, but somehow they slightly get better and better with each installment. It's amazing how much the visual effects really hold up with all of the magic, the sorceries, anything that just happens. It's really, really amazing how visually great it is. Back to performances, however, because I do want to try to give as much credit as possible. I think Michael Gambon does a really great job as Professor Dumbledore. He's just absolutely great in this role, really represents that character well. Alan Rickman as Professor Snape, just absolutely great. He just really captures that character so well. Tom Felton as Draco Malfoy, he still plays that despicable character we all can't stand. And then before he was even in the Twilight movies, Robert Pattinson was even in this film, and I thought he was really great in this role. Robbie Coltrane, Matthew Lewis, Maggie Smith, Timothy Spall, and of course Brendan Gleeson. They're just all very great in this film. The score in Goblet of Fire, just like with any of the Harry Potter films, it sounds terrific. The score just fits the mood of this film. Whenever there's something lighthearted happening or something comedic happening, the score plays very well. And then when the film does get darker, the score playing in that third act really sounded so beautiful right there. And speaking of the third act, it's very intense. It's very exciting. You're at the edge of your seat. Just how the film actually built up to the climax really is fascinating to me because there is a lot of interesting conversation with the characters involving this certain villain that they have been talking about. And of course, I don't want to really reveal anything, but the actor that does portray this villain that doesn't appear until the last act of the film. I thought he really killed it. It was a great introduction to a villain that we do see for the rest of the Harry Potter movies. And also how the film even started off already just had me locked in. This is a movie that's about 2 hours and 30 minutes long, and honestly, it doesn't feel that way. I actually feel that Goblet of Fire is a very fast-paced Harry Potter film, and that's just because even when you don't have anything to do with magic happening, like I said, those scenes with the kids and the whole ball, even those scenes were just as entertaining as the more darker and dramatic scenes. As far as problems do go with this film, I would say maybe the first 15 to 20 minutes of the film can be a little bit rushed, just a little bit, and I do think Ron was being a little bit annoying in this film just because, without getting into any details, he does get mad at Harry about something. I can understand why the others could look at Harry differently, but for Ron to look at Harry a little differently was a little out of character in my opinion, because they're best friends and Ron should trust with what Harry is trying to tell him, but he doesn't really. Those are personally the only real problems I had with this film, and they're not even that huge, to be honest. I was never bored once with this film. I always was so fascinated by the dialogue, the characters, the magical moments that you see in this film, the climax being one of the most exciting scenes in this franchise just overall. The cast still do a great job. The characters are still so likable. Most of the characters, at least, are so likable. The movie just has great cinematography. It's well directed by Mike Mitchell. It has great production design, beautiful visual effects. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire has it all. I truly did love this film so much. So because of that, I'm going to give this film on the Justin Watches Movie letter grade an A, which on the 22TigerDude channel would be 4 out of 4 stars. So you guys, I just want to say thank you so much for watching this review, and I want to thank Justin for bringing me here to collab with him for Goblet of Fire as part of his series of reviews for the Harry Potter films. So you guys, this is 22TigerDude here on the Justin Watches Movies channel, and don't forget that I will always have Tiger Power!
Thank you once again, 22TigerDude, for being on my channel here to discuss Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This is Harry Potter's 4th year at Hogwarts. He has met Sirius Black already in the 3rd film, and he is learning that they are having a Tri-Wizard tournament at his school. That is where they consist of 3 different tasks, and other schools from around the world come to compete in this competition. But he finds himself mysteriously selected as an underage competitor in a dangerous tournament between 3 schools of magic. He is not of age to compete in this tournament, but somehow he is in this tournament, and people actually dislike him for that. I think Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire is the most relatable movie out of all the movies. I recently watched this one in theaters like I did for The Prisoner of Azkaban, and I came out enjoying this movie more than I ever did. I think that this movie did so well of making the kids feel like kids and teenagers. There's dances and romance, friends are mad at each other, there's crushes and people being awkward and not wanting to talk to girls, and it brought back that funness to the movies that Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban literally just sucked out of it. This movie is really fun, and it's interesting to see the other students from around the world, but it's cool to see these different students like Victor Crumb and the girls from the other school, and how the boys are just mad crushing on these girls. That's why I think this movie is so relatable, because you know, you get new kids from other schools and you think they're pretty cute, or you're mad at your friends for stupid reasons, and that's, you know, that Ron and Harry relationship, you know, kind of boiled up a lot, and they were mad at each other for stupid things. Been there, done that. And so you could watch this movie and really feel like these kids are teenagers, and even though they're learning magic and everything, they're still actual teenagers. I think this movie did an amazing job with that aspect. And the CGI is really great. I loved seeing all these different tasks, like the dragons and the lake and the maze at the end. it was still cool to see these kids go through these tasks. We get the introduction of the new, once again, Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher of Mad-Eye Moody, and he was a cool character, very interesting, and you felt like there was something more to him. There really was. And you get Cedric Diggory, who is the guy from Twilight, Robert Pattinson. Before he was in Twilight, he was in Harry Potter, and did a pretty good job in that. The acting, like every single film, is really good. So I'm not talking too much about that, but I really like the visuals, I like the tasks, they were fun. So overall was a lot of fun, the music was great, and it brought back that fun to the Harry Potter series. Even though the third film was really great, it brought back that fun, and it managed to feel really relatable and honest that these kids are actually teenagers and they go through things. Then we get the live, introduction, the final in his flesh and bones of Lord Voldemort, played by Ralph Fiennes, and it was really creepy, really disturbing looking to see how he came about. Lord Voldemort was a very chilling character, and I really liked Ralph Fiennes as this person that they've been hyping up for about 3 movies now, and we finally get to see it, and it was a very, very good introduction to a villain. So overall, I thought Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire was a great movie. I thought it was a lot of fun. I loved seeing the tasks. I liked that it was very relatable. I liked that we finally get the introduction to Lord Voldemort, and it set up the rest of the movies because it's very chilling, and the rest of the movies, we'll get to those later. So we'll go ahead and give Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, what do you guys think? An A+, of course. Have you guys seen Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire? What did you think about it? Where does it stand with your other Harry Potter movies? Thank you once again, 22TigerDude, for being on my channel to discuss Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This is Just Watch the Movies, and you stay magical, YouTube.